Hello, everyone. Welcome to the beer garden. Happy to see Joshua is back today. How are you, Joshua?
Yeah, you'll have to put up with me today. I got the dreaded man flu, so I'm fighting through it. I got the meds in, and I'll survive. I'll survive.
Yeah, that's great. So, along with Joshua and Steve, with myself, we are going to talk about the Wednesday race cut over the all-weather track at Charene. But before that, let's have a quick review of the Group 2 that we just watched on Sunday. The Premier Bowl over 1200 meters, it was won by Wellington. Steve, what do you think about Wellington and the other competitor in that race?
Just a fantastic horse, isn't he? He's such a rock solid horse, and as the trainer says, amazing to think he went off at such a big price.
Yes.
Just a really excellent horse, the best horse in sprinter in Hong Kong, and a great performance also by Lucky Swain S, slowly out of the gates, and just one place away from making light of a sort of a 12-pound hike in the weights. So a really impressive performance there. He's the new kid on the block, isn't he? As far as I'm concerned, and Sky Field made late gains as well, slicing through the field for third. It sets things up very nicely for HKR Day in December.
Yes, I agree with that. Wellington just won is impressively carrying the top weights. To be honest, I didn't expect that, but Joe mentioned that Wellington was his selection in that group too. How about you, Joshua? What do you think about the sprinters right now in Hong Kong?
Yeah, it was a great win by Wellington, carrying the 61.2. Amazing effort. I don't know how they beat him at set weights. He's something else. Lucky Swain S, very brave in the end, considering the run that he did have. Skyfield was unlucky not to finish closer up. He had a
Yeah.
torrid run throughout. But outside of that, Cordyceps ran okay. But how do they beat Wellington going forward? He's Hong Kong's best sprinter. He's just beaten them, giving them weight. Now, when they match up at set weights, I don't know how they beat him, to be honest.
Yeah, so before the HKI out in December, we will watch another Group 2 over the 1200 meters in November. That will be the Jockey Cup Sprint. So let's see whether Wellington can win the race again. So talking about the Wednesday race card today, because currently we are having the renovation over the turf track at both Sha Tin and Happy Valley. So we are going to have some special arrangement of the fixture in these two meetings. Today we are going to have all-weather meeting at Sha Tin. 9 races will be run. So every time we watch the all-weather night meeting, there are lots of horses that are going to have their first time racing over this surface. So this time 32 runners will be trying the third surface for the first time. Let me start with Joshua. Joshua, what do you think? Any horse that race over the third for the first time that worth a mention?
Yeah, I thought in race 6, number 4, Youthful Deal, having his debut on the dirt, finishing second to Ice Legend at the end of last preparation, put in that poor performance first up at the on Sha Tin at the turf, where he did have a lot of things go wrong. So he has had a trial since Shadow Roll goes on, and on the all weather he ran a nice fourth, trialing up in progress for this one. And Zach's sticking with him at every start. Gives me the indication he's a horse with talent. So I expect him to run well tonight, or even win from a nice draw for his debut on the dirt.
Yes, I think so because we already have 10 all-weather races in this Hong Kong racing season. Zach Purton won 7 of them, so half of them, 5 of them. So he's really in form. So Youthful Deal will be ridden by Zach Purton. Let's looking forward to them. And Steve, how about you? Any all-weather debutant you looking forward to?
Yeah, I thought Youthful Deal, great chance in that race. I actually picked Yellowfin in the race, but I thought at a bigger price. I thought Son Pak Fu was quite interesting for Bennu Young, massive price. And to quote the old cliche, hasn't pulled up any trees in 3 turf runs so far. But I just thought he was interesting. I watched a trial on the dirt where I thought he ran very well. He won the trial, and an interesting horse. And Bennu Young and Jerry Chow have teamed up quite well recently. Of course, they had the big shocker, big price Kingland one. and also 134, 14-1 shot, amazing 1+ recently, and just hit the woodwork with Chichow brother. So I think Jerry Chow's done very well. Not so used so much these days by Douglas White, but he's kind of reinvented himself with Benno Young, and he's doing quite well for himself too, the young jockey. But for me, yes, I mean, great chance, youthful deal. But I think Sonpak Youth Fu might be an interesting horse from gate 8.
Yes, I agree with that. Sun Peck Fu, trained by Banner Young, he is now so far the best all-weather trainer so far in this racing season. So this time he will add the blinkers on. Hopefully this gear will be helpful. And for me, I think that race 8, number 7, Falls, racing over the dirt track for the first time. He's having quite a good chance. He will be ridden by Luke Curry, and after the summer break, he is now trained by Jamie Riches. I just checked that his pedigree, especially in his dam size, there are lots of American horses. So I believe that Foles, who caused an upset last season over the turf track, he can also perform well over the all-weather. So don't underestimate him. So let's talk about the treble races for on Wednesday. The first leg of the treble will be race 7. It is a class 4 over 1650 meters. Joshua, who do you like in race 7?
Yeah, I'm going to go with number 5, Turbo Power. I was pretty impressed with his maiden all-weather run last time out. They had to drop back from a wide gate, and he come impressively behind Fiery Diamond, who's probably going to start favourite in race 5. He was second last in the turn before running home nicely into 4th, 1.5 lengths or so off the winner. So I thought the thing that impressed me most was that the eye matched the clock. He hit the top 10 sectionals for the final 800 and top 5 for the final 6 and 4. And he actually ran the quickest final 200 meters of the whole meeting. I love that the pacifiers have gone on here. He's up to 1650 for the first time in his career, which we have seen done in the past with decent success. So I thought the draw is key here as they have a chance to sit midfield off the fence with some pace to the inside. But there's enough pace to bring him into the race if they decide to sit in the second half of the field. Either way, they'll be looking for a soft run in his first go at 1650. And I just thought he was a nice each way bet at about that $5.10, $2.40 was the last I checked on the Hong Kong tote. But also having a little saver bet on Yes We Can, because he was impressive last start. But I'll go Turbo Power on front, on top with a Yes We Can as a little saver just to cover us.
Yes, Turbo Power, number 5 in race 7. I also think that he is having a great chance. Do you agree with that, Steve?
He has a great chance. Yes, he won in his debut and hasn't won since, but numerous good runs and does look right for a step up to the 1600. But I just went for Yes We Can. To be honest, I thought this, like many of the races on the day, was very, very tricky. And Yes We Can, a 7-year-old. He's leaving it a bit late in the day for a career high mark, but he's on a career high mark now. He's up £9. It's a nice win, 4.5 lengths in front of Righteous Doctrine. And if he replicates that, he has a great chance, but it's not a race I'll be getting financially involved with. I can imagine Turbo Power certainly rattling home. But I just went with the good old champ, Zach Brown.
Yeah, so I will also go for number 5, Turbo Power, because last time he made his debut over the all-weather track. At the beginning, it was just frightened because he was cannot follow the horses. But at the home straight, he did show a great turn of foot. So I believe that he really suitable for racing over the all-weather track. So this time up to 1650 meters, I believe this is a more suitable distance for him. And also, Anton Hamilton takes the ride this time at the beginning of the season. He also partnered this horse to win a 4th, quite a solid 4th over 1200 meters over the turf. But this time over the all-weather track, I believe it is more suitable for him. So to recap, race 7, our selection include number 5, Turbo Power. That's Joshua and Steve also agree with myself that number 5, Turbo Power having a great chance. So the second leg of the treble, it will be race 8. It is a class 3 over 1200 meters. Joshua, who do we have in race 8?
Yeah, I thought this was a lovely setup from number 8, Jolly Ruler here, who's beginning his second season in Hong Kong. He finished last season on 2 all-weather runs, culminating in a win on his final run of the season, winning by about a quarter of a length over Super Wind Dragon, who we have seen come out and win this season. he meets him 2.7 kilos better this time around, so that's positive. And there isn't a lot of pace in this race with California Veins heading forward, maybe Red Parisian. So Jolly Ruler should get a nice cart into the race. He's had 2 trials this time in, performing well in both. And I reckon he's a good chance at nice odds. With California Veins, there's a good saver bet here. He's going to get a nice run throughout. He won in Class 4, 2 back on the all-weather. With Zach down to ride at 54 kilos. I think he's a nice chance also. You're getting good odds about both of them, $6 and $7.40. So, yeah, I reckon another 2-horse player might be the theme of the night to give us maximum chance of walking away with a winner.
Yes, right. So number 8, Jolly Runners, and number 9, California Rains are both quite suitable over the all-weather track. They both have some good performance here. What do you think about it, Steve?
Yeah, I prefer Jolly Ruler to California Veins. I prefer Jolly Ruler's form, and he won last year's final start of the season, beat Super Wind Dragon. Super Wind Dragon's done the form no harm at all by winning on the seasonal return, so he meets Jolly Ruler £6 worse off. And Ricky Hughes not exactly in fantastic form if you look at his recent form, but I think Jolly Ruler is a nice horse. He's well enough drawn. I think this is the horse, the most likely winner in my opinion, and he's still lightly raced. 3 from 10, 3 wins from 10. He's quite unexposed, and prior to winning, he was a good 5th to Sonny Boy on the same course and distance. So he's got nice form.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. I believe in race 8, there are just a match between several horses, including number 2, Super Wind Dragon, and number 7, Foals, number 8, Jolly Rulers, number 9, California Veins. And I will go for number 9, that will be ridden by Zach Purton, because I think that this time he is having quite a good price, 7.4 at the moment. Maybe last time he didn't race well over Class 3, but actually he stayed wide without cover for the whole trip. But he still managed to run 4th. I think that was quite impressive, also showing that he is quite competitive in this class. So this time, Zach Purton takes the ride again. Breaking from gates 4, there are some fast leaders here, so maybe he can just sit behind them. So that will be quite a nice position for him. So Zach Purton gets a lot of good mounts today. So I believe that California Veins can also be one of his winners. So let's recap race 8. I think that number 9, California Veins, is having quite good chance, and he will also be my value bet. Josh, I agree with that. He also likes number 8, Jolly Ruler, while Steve likes number 8, Jolly Rulers as well. So let's move to the last leg of the treble. It will be race 9, Class 3 over 1650 meters. Joshua, who do we have in race 9?
Yeah, I really like number 10, True Legend here. I think he's tremendous each way odds. I looked up the price. I was shocked. $18 and $4.50. He was shoved along early first up to hold a spot. And then when they came around the final bend, all the horses around him and behind him started to get momentum upon entering the straight. And he was stuck behind the tiring leader who set a frantic pace on the day. And he had to check heels at the 300 where he lost the little momentum that he did have. And it was race over from there. We all know on the dirt you need that momentum coming around the bend, otherwise you got no chance. And mind you, he never goes well first up as it is. He always improves better second up, as I've noticed in his form, which he is here. And Angus Chung remains aboard, which means he's only going to carry about 50 kilos from barrier 1. There isn't a lot of pace, so he should hit the front with ease. He's a silly each way odds for a horse that's going to get his own way up in front. Obviously, amazing teams and Hands for 12 as well are going to go very close, but I think our bloke's going to give a massive side out in front. And it's just unbelievable odds considering he's going to probably leave for fun and be hard to catch.
Yes, I agree that number 10, True Legend, breaking from gate 1 this time, having very good price right now, 20-1 for the win. And I think that usually the night's meeting over the all-weather track is quite favorable for the front runners. And I think that True Legend is definitely one of the leader in race 9. How about you, Steve? Which horse do you like in race 9?
Yeah, I couldn't really make my mind up in this race. I went for number 11, Viva Hunter. He's had some nice barrier trials on the dirt, but has never run on the dirt. I'm confident he will put up a good show. He's drawn 3, tends to like to be prominent, so he's well drawn for that. and fairly handicapped under Matthew Chadwick. But I thought it was a very tricky race. Handsome 12, a good chance to go back to back. And he was quite cosy at the finish. He won cosily, but Zach did have to get stuck into him coming into the home straight. And of course, this Charene Prince, he wasn't too far behind. Lightning Bolt, I thought, was quite interesting, but Gate 13, I thought, posed a problem. And Amazing Teens is much better drawn than he was on his seasonal return. But for me, without a great deal of confidence, and of course True Legend as well, who was denied room when he was going well, and of course Angus Chung, it's like a gift, isn't it? £10 off, a very able jockey as well, showing his ability on the all-weather, winning quadruple double and done various good performances. But for me, Viva Hunt is a horse I've always kind of liked.
Yes, Viva Hunter number 11 in race 9. This time, finally, he gets a good draw breaking from gate 3 with Matthew Chadwick on board this time. So apart from True Legend, I think that Viva Hunter will be another leader. So hopefully both of them can run well. And for my selection in race 9, it will be number 1, Charene Prince, ridden by Ruben Meyer, the horse best partner. I think last time he was beaten by Handsome 12 by just a short margin, but previously he already showed some good ability over the dirt track. So Charene Prince this time, although carrying the top weights, I think he is able to overcome it because this time he will still jumping from a good draw. So I believe the map will be like that. True Legend and Viva Hunter will be leading. Charene Prince from gate 5 will be just following them. So it will be quite a good position for him. And I quite like his track work recently. He just had had an impressive gallop with Ruben Meyer on board before this race. So I believe Charene Prince now is still very fit and ready to win again. So to recap, race 9, Joshua goes for number 10, True Legend, having quite a good price here. And Steve goes for number 11, Viva Hunter, and I will have number 1, Charene Prince. So after talking about the treble of today, so let's talk about our favorite horse of the card. That will be our best bets. Joshua, who will be your best bets today?
Yeah, I'm going with race 5, number 3, Fiery Diamond. I know a lot of horses don't hold their form in Hong Kong, but I think this is a race that's very thin, and I think this guy can hold his form. He was impressive winning first up by 1.3 lengths over this track and distance. He had to do it the hard way after being bumped at the start from barrier 7, and he lost a plate in the run, as well as racing tight around the 1,000-metre mark. So given all that, there's plenty of merit from that win. I think he's drawn ideally this time out, and that man again, Zach Purton, remains with him, which is always a positive. There is a bit of pace to the outside, so I expect him to settle around 5th or 6th in the run. And if Zach can get a run just off the fence, I reckon he's going to be mighty hard to beat in a race, as I said, that lacks a lot of form. He's currently about $3.10 as the favourite, and I think that's acceptable in a race like this.
Yes, acceptable the price because Fairy Diamond is seeking for a back-to-back win. And last time, the way he gets his first victory in Hong Kong, it was just impressive. Maybe in the second season racing in Hong Kong, he is now settling better and he is ready to bounce back and looking for a back-to-back win. And Steve, how about you? Who will be your best bet today?
I went to number 6, Apache Pass, in race number 4, the very nice small but select field, the Class 2. And I thought Apache Pass is a shorter price. He's favourite. He's a lot shorter than I thought he would be. But I think he's a nice horse. King Shield is the top weight. This is an easier assignment that he's had for some time, a real confirmed dirt specialist. But so is Apache Pass. His last 6 runs on the dirt have been 1-1, 3-2, 1-2. And he's also teed up nicely for this race with 2 good runs on turf. He was 5th to Lucky With You down the 1,000 metres straight at Charene, which he was never going to be competitive with. He did well to finish 5th in such a race. And then last time, also a good run, 6th to Packing Victory, so not far behind the main protagonists there. Derek Long gets on well with him. He's drawn in 1. There's a few question marks about some of the others. We've got likes of Sabaquin and Spirited Express, who are dirt, making their debut on dirt. And also All for St. Paul's has got more to do. And I'm not sure Bell and Tango can actually go back-to-back as well. So for me, I thought Apache Pass, rather likely race, considering he's a 6-year-old. So he's relatively lightly raced. And I think there's more to come from him.
Yes, right. So there will only be 8 horses in race 4. Apart from Apache Pass, I think number 1, King Shields, is definitely one of the an interesting runner here. So I will have my best bet for number 1 King's Shield. So hopefully we can bring you a best quinella for all of you. I really agree that Apache Pass, especially from a good draw and also carrying lightweights, is he already has some good runs over the turf recently in this season. But King's Shield, after returning back from South Korea, actually his performance in the Korea Cup was quite disappointing because maybe the surface was too soft for him and he didn't settle well for the whole trip. But after returning from South Korea, he just had some good rest and some training at Chongfa, and I believe now he is quite fit and ready for another win or ready for another good performance because he is a 4-time course and distance winner in Hong Kong. Also, he performed quite well during the night meetings. So this time ridden by Zach Burton, although carrying the top weight, hopefully he can just overcome it. So to recap our best bet, for Joshua, that will be race 5, number 3, Fairy Diamond. For Steve, it will be race 4, number 6, Apache Pass, and I will have race 4, number 1, King's Shield. So let's talk about some horses with the good price. Joshua, who do you have as your value bet?
Yeah, I'll keep it brief as I've already spoken about him. Race 9, number 10, True Legend. As I said, he should get a nice lead here. He should be able to dictate out in front and show a kick on the bend. He just had no luck last start with no momentum. So with Angus Chung carrying 50 kilos on the pace, I think he's a tremendous each-way chance at the $18 and $4.50.
Yes, I can't believe that True Legend number 10 in race 9 is having such a good price because he can definitely take advantage of the good draw this time. Steve, how about you? Who do we have as your value bet?
I went to the opener with over the 1200 meters with G1 Excellent, and he's yet to win, nothing from 13, but he's had 2 runs so far. He went from Dennis Yip over to the Danny Shum stable, and his debut was quite nice. It was just two and a half lengths behind Chichow Brother, and then not quite as good next time, 4.5 lengths off Sunny Baby. But I think he's interesting, and he's only had one dirt run. It wasn't fantastic. This was last year, but I think it was also a step too far over the 1650. I think he travelled well on the surface. I just think it was just far too far for him. And I think back to the 6 furlongs is interesting. He's a nice competitive mark to Matthew Poon on board. I think he's got a very good chance at the odds. A nice value selection, I think.
Yes, G1 Excellent, number 8 in the opener. Currently, the price is 9-1, quite good price. I actually agree that after joining Danny Shum's stable this season, he is different. So stepping back to 1200 meters this time, I think he is having quite a good chance as well. And for me, my value bet will be race 8, number 9, California Veins, because I quite like his performance over the all-weather track in the beginning of the season. At that time, he was ridden by Zach Burton and he just led till the end. It was quite a solid win, I believe, because he was carrying the top weights and also he was leading in a fast pace. So it was quite strong. So this time I will be looking forward to him, especially returning back to his favorite surface. So let's recap our value bets today. Joshua goes for race 9, number 10, True Legend. Steve goes for race 1, number 8, G1 Excellent. And I will have race 8, number 9, California Veins. So that's all for our preview for today's race card. I believe it is not easy. It is a bit tricky. So next time we will have the Happy Valley Day meeting. And after that, we will race over the winter grass in Hong Kong for both Charene and Happy Valley for the turf. So thank you for watching today. We will see you next time for the Happy Valley preview. Hopefully we can bring you some winners. See you next time. Goodbye.